Mm. Welcome to We'll Fix It in Post, Old Ass Movie Reviews. I'm your host, an exhausted Don Vega.
I'm Joe Sonnenberg. I'm fresh as a daisy. How are you?
Must be nice. Must be nice. Yeah, I did a little bit of overtime at my none of your business job this week, and it is kicking my ass.
He killed 6
least.
puppies.
It's a job. A job is a job, man. This economy, you know how hard it is? Do you? You have no idea.
I wave goodbye to each of them.
Jesus Christ.
I know, it's bad. It's bad to say that. Already,
we are
6 sentences fogged up.
Is it like hot in your basement?
I'm wearing a jacket.
What does that have to do with your glasses?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm confused. I confused myself.
Yeah. I think this is our first episode with a facial hairless Joe.
No.
So there's that. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
You've had low mustaches. No. That's not the first episode with none.
Yeah. No.
This is the cleanest shaven by far.
Wrong. Go back to like episode 1 or 2. I'm like a bald baby bitch.
I mean, that's just your life, being a bald baby bitch, but
I'm not bald. I got a lot of hair. You don't want to see it.
No, I don't.
So then let's not, let's not bring personalities into this.
Let's see here.
Also have a disgusting amount of hair.
It's not a disgusting. Nikki, he said I have disgusting amount of hair.
He does.
My wife does not care for that, and you will apologize.
I'm not going to apologize. It's not Happy Don
month. I'm looking
at
the episodes and
go all the way back, Don. By the way, YouTube has 19 of the same episode over and over and over again. Why did they do that?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Maybe my phone's broken.
Yeah, I think you just tend to wear the same shirts.
I don't wear the same shirt. I don't wear.
Yeah, no Serratu, pretty shaven.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that's when your face was all fucked up. Remember?
No.
Yeah, you were blotchy and you were crying about it through the whole episode.
I was blotchy.
Yeah, you were all blotchy. You was, oh, my face. You look like one of the monsters from that month monster review.
Freaks.
Yeah, fucking hideous.
Google gobble.
Well, we're not in
we're in
anymore. Now we're in
a different month now.
Yeah, we're in Women's History Month.
Hello, women.
Or as Joe likes to call it.
Well, don't you dare.
Just say what you told me off the mic. You don't want me to say
it? No. I don't know what I told you. I could have told you anything.
Okay.
I don't think I told you anything.
All right.
Because I was having a very nice conversation with your wife about Poor Things, which is on the review's on my Instagram, everybody. Go follow me.
It is.
And look at it. I liked it. And love it. I liked it. Jake got so mad at me for saying that I just liked it and didn't think it was a masterpiece.
Well, it's visually stunning. Visually, you can call it a masterpiece. I think visually, sure.
I think the score, beautiful. I think cinematography was beautiful. I said that in the review. Your lead actress. Sorry. Yeah.
Joe hates women lead actresses during Women's History Month.
I do not.
Can't stand them.
Woman Under the Influence, 1974.
Which is the exact opposite of Poor Things.
Yes.
Poor Things was a film about a woman rebelling against society and its norms and telling a woman what she should and could be. And her having her own self-worth, self-identifying journey in Poor Things, Emma Stone's role. And this movie is not that.
No, but it's also...
But Women Under the Influence is what we're reviewing. 1974, starring...
Jenna Rollins as Mabel Longetti, Peter Falk as
Columbo.
You and Linda did the same exact thing, and he's a better actor than that fucking Columbo show.
Can I ask you something?
Just
voice checking.
Just hold on a minute here.
Can I have some water?
Yes, some water. That will be fine, ma'am. Thank you very much, Toby.
It really ruined my childhood seeing him in this film.
Linda said I do a good him yelling as Nick Longetti. Mabel is not crazy. Not crazy.
I am. I'm fucking nuts.
Yeah. Nick is Peter
Yeah.
Falk. I'm sorry, Peter Falk is Nick. Fred Draper is George. Mario Gallo as Harold. Eddie Shaw as Dr. Zepp, who's the weirdest doctor ever. And Kathy Cassavetes is Margaret, Nick's mother. So that's
Yeah.
John Cassavetes, his mother, who directed this film, is
Mm-hmm.
Kathy Cassavetes,
He
Nick's
had a
mother.
couple of relatives in this film, actually.
His kids were the
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah. Well,
Which
his kids were the kids, and also some of the other adults.
sister, I think.
Yeah, sister and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I'll do the synopsis. Although wife and mother Mabel is loved by her husband Nick, her mental illness places a strain on the marriage, which I'm going to cross that out and say both their mental illnesses place
Yeah,
a
it's a
strain.
misnomer, but I'm quite sure it's no, it's probably not on purpose. It's probably just a misnomer. But go ahead, continue.
Yeah. The trivia for this film. John Cassavetes could not find a distributor for the film after completion and was at one point literally carrying the reels under his arm from one theater to another in hopes of getting one to play his movie. Finally, Martin Scorsese, who had just recently become critically acclaimed following Mean Streets, happened to be a huge fan of Cassavetes' work and threatened to pull his film Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore from a major New York film festival unless they accepted this film. And then it went on to gross $15 million in theaters. Martin Scorsese, saving cinema every day. Cassavetes initially wrote the film as a play, but Jenna Rollins talked him out of it, saying the role would be far too exhausting to play night after night. That was food coming.
Oh, God. Can you imagine?
You gave Nikki that look like food was on its way.
No. My mom was calling.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Richard Dreyfuss, which I don't believe this, but I found it funny. Richard Dreyfuss claimed he found the film so harrowing when he first saw it, it caused him to vomit. I don't believe that. You just got you had a bad piece of fish, Dreyfuss. What are you talking about? Right? You think it...
I mean, when you think back at the decade this is, you didn't have that type of dysfunction on film, really.
I don't know about that. Yes, you did. There were a lot of
70s, sure, there's a lot, but like...
Right?
How old was Richard Dreyfuss at that time when he watched it? Maybe that just wasn't his steez. Maybe he stood away from movies that was like this.
He was in Jaws.
He wasn't having like people getting smacked up and shit in Jaws. It was just
sharks just eating it.
Yeah, nothing to do with mental illness. It was sharks.
That's it.
Big deal.
To help fund the film, Cassavetes remortgaged his home, and Peter Falk chipped in with some of his earnings from Columbo. When no one wanted to buy The Influence, Cassavetes spent $750,000 of his own money to release it, with the guidance of young distributor Jeff Lipsky.
Peter Falk chipped in with his money from Columbo and sold his eyeball.
That's not nice.
Peter Falk has one eye.
And you could really see it in this movie, like a lot. Like a lot. Like, geez. Imagine him and Sammy Davis Jr. in a buddy comedy called Eye to Eye. He helped to four-wall or rent out the movie theaters to show the film, and it ended up playing around the world, eventually grossing $15 million. Okay, before we get to the film, Don's going to do his 1974 jazz. He doesn't have it up yet, though, so we'll just keep talking.
No, I got it right here.
All right. First, he's got to clear the old Pall Malls out of his throat.
Yeah. You ever smoked Pall Malls?
Mm-hmm.
Rough.
Mm-hmm.
Rough. What was the first cigarette you ever smoked?
Marlboro Red.
You want to know the first one I ever smoked?
Good.
Take a wild guess.
Wait.
I'll give you a guess. And it is apropos.
It's apropos to this film?
Not to the film, to the month.
Oh, Virginia Slim.
Yeah. It's a girly cigarette.
Bitch.
Don't say it. It was the skinniest thing I ever smoked. Because I started smoking weed before cigarettes.
Yeah,
I started smoking weed around 11. Cigarettes, I didn't start until I was 16. Yeah.
Cool.
I am cool. Fucking right, I'm cool, man. Fucking nerd. You.
I'm now scared.
Virginia Slims. First cigarette I ever smoked, Virginia Slims in South Beach, Miami.
What was
right outside of Fat Tuesdays while drinking a
Pum
hurricane.
martini?
No, you jerk. It was a hurricane, I think. What was that one of them
Oh,
big it's a slushy and with
a
way too much.
pum
Oh, it was a
martini.
high octane. I think it was called high octane.
Wow.
Yeah, it was way too much alcohol inside of a slushy. It was delicious.
Were you wearing poom poom shorts with like a little neon heart on them?
Nope, I had a white long tee, camo shorts that were also too large. Some
Why do you remember this outfit?
because I have pictures of it and it terrorizes me. It was a bad time in my life.
Well, you were like 20.
No, I was 16.
That's okay. Everybody was stupid. Nobody wore anything that they liked.
You know, and that's my first and only pair of white on white uptowns that I ever had. Was
I never had a pair of white on white uptowns.
very uncomfortable. Very
They
uncomfortable. Poor
they
choice.
just look like you're about to arrest somebody on a 1 to 3 bid. They are the worst.
Yeah. Anyway, 1974.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now I gotta guess things.
Yeah. Take a guess what happened in 1974. Let's do it like that. Let's do the show like this.
Well, there was still some racism.
Well,
Watergate happened in 74.
I don't know. I didn't get to that part yet.
Fart.
Anyway, terracotta army was discovered. I remember that. That was cool. Chinese farmers discovered terracotta army.
You remember that?
I do remember that.
In 1974.
I remember that. I remember seeing it on Discovery Channel.
Smoking a Virginia Slim.
Interesting.
I said, they discovered those men.
I would love to purchase one of those clay men.
For purely scientific purposes.
Chinese farmers discovered terracotta army near Xi'an. 8,000 clay warrior statues buried to guard the tomb of China's first emperor.
Imagine discovering that
Qin Shi Huang.
And not getting a fucking dime.
Yeah. Thanks. Now fuck off.
Yeah. Get back to the thing.
Ayatollah Khamenei calls for an Islamic Republic in Iran.
Why can't you say Khomeini?
How the fuck am I supposed to know how to say that? The Troubles. Northern Ireland conflict between Republic. This is like always happening. It's
always the shit. They're always having it.
Damn. 1,000th victim was claimed that year. India becomes sixth nation to explode an atomic bomb. Cool. First extraterrestrial message sent from Earth into space. Hello.
Send nudes.
ASL. Beep, 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 beep. ASL.
What room have I not been in today?
As it turns out, ASMR is not something of our generation. It's a very old device, ASMR. Richard Nixon announces he'll resign at 12 p.m. the next day. That was on August 8th. I am not a crook.
But you are. Big crook. It's actually proven that you were a huge crook.
That hurts my feelings.
Yeah.
President Gerald Ford, August 9th, swears the oath of office to be 38th president. Most complete early human skeleton, Lucy, discovered by Donald Johanson, Maurice Tabe, Yves Copins, and Tim White in the middle wash of Ethiopia's Afar Depression.
Okay.
What else? Film. $6 Million Man starring Lee Majors premieres on ABC in January.
It's not a film.
Barbra Streisand's first film and TV. Barbra Streisand's first number one hit, The Way We Were, February. Mel Brooks' Western spoof film Blazing Saddles, starring Cleavon Little and Gene Wilder, premieres at the Pickwick Drive-In in Burbank, California. Patrons watch from horseback rather than cars. Okay.
But I had horses.
1974 music.
Why are you talking like this?
ABBA for Sweden wins singing. ABBA wins for Sweden singing in Sweden, singing Waterloo. In Brighton, England. American punk rock band The Ramones concert debut at CBGB's. Sib Jibs?
No, it's
Oh, so sometimes you read the whole thing and sometimes it's just the letters.
but
Excuse the fuck out of me.
you know ABBA, Dancing Queen.
Yeah, I know fucking ABBA. Apple Records releases John Lennon's fifth studio album, Walls and Bridges. Yada, yada, yada. Sports.
Good.
Here it comes. Too many white facts. I start getting tired. Too many white facts. Hank Aaron ties Babe Ruth's home run record by hitting his 714th in Cincinnati, facing Jack Billingham.
That's black fact.
There you go. Hammering Hank Aaron. Now it's his 715th off of LA Dodger Al Downing, breaking Babe Ruth's record in Atlanta. Okay. Rumble in the Jungle, Muhammad Ali KOs George Foreman in the 8th round, and Kinshasa, Zaire regains world heavyweight boxing title with famous rope-a-dope tactic.
Yeah.
You know who was born in 1974? Take a guess. So many white people.
How would I know?
Alexis Tsipras. You know who that is?
Tennis?
Nope. Prime Minister of Greece.
Oh. I thought we're doing sports.
No, I said who was born in 74.
All right.
Now it's random, unnecessary facts. Amy Fisher.
Oh, she cut off. She shot Joey Buttafuoco's wife.
Yep. Ken Jennings. Nerd.
Becoming a great host of Jeopardy.
I haven't watched it. I always wanted it to be LeVar Burton, so I was really disappointed.
Yeah, it could have been him. It could. I thought it was going to be. They were going to do a three-way thing with LeVar Burton, Ken Jennings, and Mayim Bialik, and then Mayim Bialik said, "I don't want to do this anymore because of the whole." I don't know what Israel and Palestine had to do with her check, but that's okay.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
I know she had something going on.
Yeah.
Christian Bale, born in 1974.
A guy that is fine sometimes.
Elizabeth Banks.
She's not that fine in the movie.
Penelope Cruz.
She is fine.
Sarah Paulson.
I don't think she's talented.
I've seen her in decent stuff, and I've seen her in stuff that annoys the fuck out of me.
Was she in Zack and Miri Make a Porno?
No.
But she is Seth Rogen's wife, right?
No. In real life?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know. I just said something.
Yeah, you sure did.
Don't think about it. Keep
Joaquin
going.
Phoenix.
He's great when he wants to be.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
He's one of the greatest ever.
Musicians born in 1974. This guy does not look that age. Robbie Williams. Before we found out about him on MTV, music was great. Victoria Beckham. Alanis Morissette. Vijay.
Vijay?
It's an Indian guy. Oh.
Vijay.
Natalie Maines.
From Dixie Chicks.
Cool. And Nelly. Oh, me and Nelly have the same birthday. November 2nd.
Are you going to go and take a ride with him?
Athletes born 1974. Carrie Webb.
Golfer?
Yes. Anke Huber.
Try that again.
Anke Huber. German. Maybe that's
Huber.
Anke Huber. It's a lady, German tennis player.
I would not have gotten that.
Jay Onrait. Currently an anchor for Fox Sports Live. He has a real stupid looking face. Like really, look it up while you're there. Just look at this guy's fucking
Jay
face. Awful.
Onrait? How do I
Yeah,
spell it?
JayOnrait.
Jay.
Yeah, it's got a jerk off face. Maybe he's a nice guy. I don't know. Derek Jeter, one of your favorite players. Steve Nash.
Yeah, he does have a jerk off face. You're correct.
Like I can't stand his face.
You say Derek Jeter?
Derek Jeter.
Dynamite.
And
Who was after Derek Jeter?
Steve Nash.
A guy doesn't get enough credit for one of the greatest basketball players ever.
And Seattle Slew.
Overrated horse.
Fucking horse. Overrated
horse.
Did what he was told.
Beat nobody.
Overrated.
Beat nobody. Beat
How can you
nobody.
be overrated? It's either you win or you don't.
No, that's not true. Beat nobody. It depends on the year you come out and the crop you face.
Fine. Who died? Bunch of white people.
Show.
James Chadwick. Lyudmila Pavlichenko. She seems that's probably a guy with a real weird haircut. Oh no, female sniper, most successful female sniper recorded in recorded history with 309 confirmed kills.
It'd be funny if you just got sniped before, right after you said, "Yeah, it looks like a guy with a wig in it."
Nope, that's a lady. Happy Women's History Month. That's some women's history for you right there. She was a beast. She was that was AKA Lady Death.
Oh.
Heard that name before. She's been in movies.
I don't know.
Charles Lindbergh.
Lucky Lindy. Well, he wasn't that lucky because they kidnapped and killed his baby.
Who? Georgy Zukov. Oh, Georgie. Marshal of the Soviet Union. Yeah. Georges Pompidou.
Pompidou?
He died. Pompidou. Pompidou. French president. Died at 74. Juan Perón.
Argentina.
Served the president for Argentina.
They didn't cry for him.
He looks like a Nazi.
I think he was a bad man.
He seems Nazi-ish.
Yeah, he seemed like a bad guy.
Yeah. Actors who died. More white people. Agnes Moorehead.
From, Wizard of Oz.
Was she the Wicked Witch?
Yeah.
I could see that. She's not even wearing makeup. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Oscar Schindler.
Schindler's List. The movie was based on him.
Jack Benny.
Unfunny, old-timey comedian.
You want to know what's something funny?
Go ahead.
Whoever did this put the same picture for Georges Pompidou, and they just reused the picture for Ed Sullivan.
That's fine.
Just because they both got thick eyebrows, so it's not the same person.
Works for me.
That's fucking hilarious. Oh no, there it goes. There goes his regular face. It was my computer.
I hate when my parents used to go to Atlantic City. I used to stay with my grandmother, and she used to make me watch Jack Benny and fucking Ed Sullivan. Oh my god, it was miserable.
Really?
I hated it. Lawrence Welk. Oh god.
Good stuff. Bud Abbott.
Abbott and Costello. The movies aren't great, but if you go back and watch their sketch comedy show from the 40s, some of it is really dirty and funny.
I used to watch their movies all the time. I love their movies.
Yeah.
I used to rent them from the library. And
I know you weren't a reader.
Fuck you, buddy. Coco the Clown. He was a clown. A Russian clown, apparently.
Russian clown spy.
Yeah.
Who's a Russian clown?
Coco.
Yeah, I guess so.
Motherfucking Coco. Musicians who dead. Darius Milhaud.
Darius?
He looks really old. Cass Elliot.
Mama Cash, he choked on a ham sandwich.
God damn it.
He did.
Duke Ellington.
Not a ham sandwich. I think I don't want to say it was drugs, but it might have been drugs.
Why are you saying that?
Because
he's black?
No, he had a substance abuse problem for many, many years.
Cause of death: lung cancer and pneumonia.
So I said drugs.
Same thing. Same these. No, you fucking jerk
I
off.
thought it was drugs.
Athletes who dead. Tim Horton.
From Tim Hortons in Canada?
Tim Horton
Coffee Man?
played 24 seasons NHL for
Yeah.
Toronto.
Yeah.
Yada yada.
Yeah.
He also co-founded Tim Hortons, a
Oh.
donut chain. I had
The-
no idea what
The
the
worst
original.
cup of coffee I've ever had.
People love Tim Hortons for some
It
reason.
tasted like water piss.
Denny Shute.
Denny?
James J. Braddock.
He was Cinderella Man, the movie with Russell Crowe, Jimmy Braddock.
Yeah, he's got a beat up face. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Let's see here. Because, yeah, okay. So, 1974. Who would be your guess for the best actor of 1974? I can tell you now you're wrong.
It wasn't Marlon for the
Nope.
Godfather. I'm going to get this wrong?
I don't fucking know.
Oh. So it was 1973 to 1974. Paul Newman in The Sting?
No.
Robert Redford in The Sting?
No.
They were nominated, though.
I don't fucking know. It's just
I don't like you. Give me the first initial of his first name.
A.
A.
He's a Scorpio.
Art Carney?
Yeah.
For Harry and Tonto. Say I'm right. Say I'm right. Say something. Do it.
It doesn't say. I'm trying to find it. It just says that he won. It doesn't say for what.
I think it's Harry and Tonto.
Yeah, it doesn't say for what. Best actress.
Give me
1974.
Give me the first letter of the first name.
E.
Ellen Burstyn?
Wow. Yeah. Why would you know that? You're such a fucking weird person.
Don't ask.
What did she win for? What did she win for? What did she win for?
Alice doesn't live here anymore.
I don't know. Time Person of the Year was Faisal of Saudi Arabia.
King Fazul.
That says Faisal. Where do you see a U?
I made it up.
Yeah. Sports Person of the Year, Muhammad Ali.
Cassius Clay.
Yeah. Grammy for Album of the Year, Stevie Wonder.
Stephen Wonder.
Stephen.
It has to be Songs in the Key of Life, then, I would assume.
Don't know. Don't care.
I don't understand.
Movies. Top grossing movies in 1974. This movie does not show up on this list for some reason, even though you told me how much it made, which is strange.
15 million, not in the year.
Oh, just ever?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not that great. So this list is only showing me 32 movies from 1974.
I don't need any more. We're already 30 minutes into this.
32. The Three Musketeers.
Okay, I'm sure it's not good. I never saw it.
31. The Conversation.
Overrated. I don't like that film. Francis Ford Coppola, Gene Hackman.
Okay. 30. Claudine.
Never saw it.
Which one is this? Claudine. Oh, I've been told about this one. This is the one where, a caseworker comes to it's a black family. Caseworker comes to the house. The Section 8 caseworker, I think that's what it was. What is the?
I never heard of it.
It's a very famous black film.
Yeah?
From 1970s.
Well,
yeah.
we got to watch that then.
Yeah, it's I've heard a lot of my older friends, cigar friends, talk about it all the time. And because you can't have a man in the house when you're on government assistance and stuff like that. So
back in the day,
to this day,
really,
yeah. Otherwise, what are you getting assisted for? Let that dude work. That's how they, figure it out.
Right.
What are you gonna do? 29, The Sugarland Express.
It's okay.
28, California Split.
Very good movie.
27,
Robert Altman.
what's it about?
Two gamblers going on the road. It's like Rounders. It's like the first inclination of Rounders. You remember Rounders with Damon and Norton, right?
Nope.
You never saw Rounders?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, bro, you'd love Rounders. But it's like gambling, like road movie. It's good. It's really good. Elliot Gould, I believe, is in that.
27, The Golden Voyage of Sinbad. I do remember that one.
I never saw that.
26, The Front Page.
It's good.
25, obviously a re-release, Gone with the Wind.
Such a piece of shit.
24, Macon County Line.
I never saw it. I heard it's good.
23, That's Entertainment.
Never saw it.
22, The Groove Tube.
The Groove Tube?
The Groove Tube. It's a comedy. 21, The Man with the Golden Gun.
I don't care about fucking
Is that
James
James Bond?
I don't give a fuck about that.
20, Death Wish.
It's good.
19, Chinatown.
Another could be in the most overrated films of all time, in my opinion. I don't like Chinatown. Nicholson and Polanski.
Okay. 18, Thunderbolt and Lightfoot.
That's a piece of shit.
17, Aaron Erungen an die Zukunft. Documentary. 16, The Great Gatsby.
You say The Great Gatsby, the one with Redford?
Yeah, 16,
it's okay.
yeah.
It's okay.
15, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Amazing. Still amazing.
14, Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry.
Very good.
13, Freebie and the Bean.
Never saw it. I heard it was really good. Alan Arkin, I think, is in that.
12, Benji. 11, Herbie Rides Again.
How many goddamn Herbie movies were there about a fucking car?
Lots. 10, Murder on the Orient Express.
It's good.
I like the
new one with
remake
Brano?
they did too. I didn't hate it.
see
A lot
it.
of people
I didn't
didn't like
see
it. I don't like it. A lot of people didn't like it. I like what they're doing with that guy.
M. Pirro? Hercules Pirro?
Yeah. There's a new one that just came out that's kind of got like a little bit of a horror theme into it also. And I want to check that out. I might watch that.
It's Hercule Poirot?
Yeah, Hercule Poirot.
Wow.
Yeah. Number 9, The Longest Yard.
It's okay.
Number 8, The Life and Times of Grizzly Adams.
I never saw it.
Number 7, The Airport 1975.
Too many airport movies, man. How many airports blow up every year?
Number 6, The Godfather Part 2.
Well, one of the greatest films ever made.
Number 5, Earthquake.
Come on. Go on.
Number 4, Young Frankenstein.
Amazing.
I love that film.
It's so good.
So much.
And you can still watch it, and it's funny.
It's still funny as shit.
Yeah. Because there's small shit involved. It's great. Yeah.
Number 3, The Trial of Billy Jack.
I never saw that.
Number 2, Towering Inferno.
It's good. I'm not going to lie. That's a good disaster movie.
Number 1.
You live in a haunted house.
What would you say number 1 is?
1974. Is it a drama?
No.
It's comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Very famous?
Yeah.
Very famous comedy, 1974. Oh, it could be here for a long time. I've seen it.
Yeah.
You sure?
I don't know.
You fuckhead?
My mom just sent me some sneakers.
Wearing the Trumps?
Made by Skechers and Snoop Dogg.
Oh, that's it. That's it. The other way. Oh, that's you, baby. That's you. I don't know. I'm not going to get it.
It's crazy. Blazing Saddles.
Oh, Well, you said it already. Okay. Yeah, I like Blazing Saddles. It's not as
Yeah.
good as Young Frankenstein.
No, I don't think so at all. But money would say otherwise.
Eh,
Anyway,
those are both the same year?
well, same year,
That is insane.
74. Let's see. Blazing Saddles was February. Young Frankenstein was December. So there's that.
How long did it take to... Mel Brooks is just shooting him out of his ass. All right. Is that it? Is there anything else at all? Is that the show?
That's the show.
All right.
And hey, we'll see you next week, folks.
All right. I did all the things I did before. Now we're going to talk about the film, A Woman Under the Influence. All right. Open up on all the workers in the mud and the muck. Cassavetes, a master of the point and shoot style. Just let the film go. Let the scene go. A lot of that here. All the boys are getting a beer. Nick on the phone with the boss telling him he's with his family. And the boys' faces let them know that Nick has been struggling.
Mm-hmm.
They know. And then Mabel's mother. And it's like the kids, Mabel's mother. And here's Mabel. Like, and the way she comes on, it's like she shot out of a cannon through that door.
Yeah. It was a lot just from go.
Yeah. And her mother knows she's fucked up. And she's talking to the kids, Mabel's mother, and she says to the kids, "Don't break my head." That was funny. Mabel's directing traffic, getting her out of the parking lot or the garage. First scene's in the house. I think that's such a great house. It's such a weird house.
Well, it's an overcrowded house. They don't have enough space for themselves. There's not even any privacy.
But they have a lot of space. But they don't.
But not really, because it's just the bedroom upstairs. It looks as though there's just one bedroom upstairs because they didn't go to any other rooms.
Right.
And they're sleeping in their dining room on a pull-out couch. And there's such a lack of privacy, in fact, that there's a sign that says private on the bathroom.
I always just thought that was funny.
I don't find there to be much humor in that house. I don't think that was it. I think that was somebody who really was trying to get some privacy. Printed out a really big private sign.
Well, printed out. I think they just went to a road store and got a private sign,
There you
go. Mabel waiting for Nick, drunk. Nick had to work. Nick and Eddie talk about what Nick promised to Mabel, a love night, a special night. Mabel's not crazy. She's unusual. I don't understand what...
He continues to say, I don't know what she's
I don't understand what she's doing. I admit that.
I have no idea what's going to happen when I get home.
Yeah. Just throwing himself into a fire every time he walks in. I strongly believe in my heart of hearts that this is the greatest performance by an American female in any American-made film ever. That's my opinion. Nick calls Mabel.
Okay.
What? It is.
All right.
It is.
Right. I mean, it is your opinion, yeah.
She should be... Jenna Rollins should be lauded like Meryl Streep is lauded, and she's not. And I don't understand.
Did Jenna
why.
Rollins do any research on whatever mental illness they were trying to depict, or did they just tell her to be crazy?
I'm sure she did research, and then I don't know. I'm sure she did research. She was a method actress, so I'm sure she did research. Yeah.
Okay.
Nick calls Mabel, and then she says, "It's fine, Nick. Please believe me, it's fine." And then he says he's going to take the day off tomorrow, and the greatness of the mannerisms and the movement of Jenna Rollins. And then Mabel just goes to the bar, finds this guy, and just attaches herself to him.
Yeah.
Mabel tells this complete stranger her whole night. And she says, "Seagrams and 7 crowns." And he says, "How?" "In a bottle." Fucking great. Mabel drinks the whole drink. The portrait here that is being painted is just lost times. The severity of mental instability on both their accounts, Mabel and Nick.
Well, it doesn't really portray itself yet on Nick's part.
No, I guess not. But you can. Yeah. But you even can tell in that first scene where he's just yelling that he's.
I don't know. It's hard because it's like I'm like, oh, that's just Columbo. He yells. That's what he does sometimes.
That's not. That's wrong to do to Peter Falk. He's a great actor.
I think I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. But it just comes so natural that I just said, all right, this is just this guy's personality. It didn't come across as crazy yet.
Okay.
This came across as, you know.
That's fair. And this guy has a great name that she picks up at the bar, Garson Cross. What a great name that is. And then when he introduced himself, she said, I know. What? So great. Mabel's passed out drunk, cut it out. He's kissing her. And then that hard look the next morning when he says, no, it's Garson, because she's looking for Nick. And
Yeah.
oh, not again. No, I didn't do this again, did I? I'm not in the mood for games, Nick. Nick Longhetti, Mabel Longhetti, and she's doing it. Where'd you go?
I'm here.
Oh, you just
Give me a
left.
second. Yeah, give me a second. Keep going. I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm
All
listening.
right. I looked up and you were gone.
Talk.
Nick Longhetti, Mabel Longhetti, and she has no idea that this guy is not Nick. I mean, she's really lost. Garson's talking to himself, saying, I just don't understand that woman. And then all of a sudden, Garson's gone. But Nick alludes to the fact later that he caught her with Garson, or the mother says that you had a man in the house.
Yeah.
How do they
So,
know that?
because it's not the first time it's happened. That's why.
Okay. All right. All the boys coming over. I even said that 2 seconds ago. All of the boys coming over for a meal now. And Nick has all these ideas that people should just be in this house. And why? You have a mentally ill wife. Your kids are also kind of fucked up. You're fucked up, and you want people over this small house.
Because he's
Italian.
but he's a no, well,
Yeah,
possibly, but he's a narcissist and a gaslighter himself. He promised his wife that he was going to have a nice, quiet, just the two of them day, and he did the extreme opposite of that. He brought a dozen men
more.
to her door
There was more.
and said, "Cook spaghetti."
Yeah. Nick thinks it's a good idea, and it's the worst idea. I said maybe trying to make her feel normal, feel like a person. And one of the boys said, she doesn't have one of her headaches, does she? Say no, Mabel.
Yeah, of course. Some of them have interacted with her, and she doesn't recognize them.
Yeah. And this is a great line. This is Mabel for everybody. What a great line that is. And a lot of this is improvised, of course. Nick is proud of her, though, in a very weird way. He's very proud of her. Constant movement in this film. Everyone moving, but the camera, for the most part, is still until we get to, like, the outside. What's your name? And the uncomfortableness here is so heavy until she says, raise them, like, for a toast. Great line. What is that when there's a lot of kids? Is that in the air? Is that something in the air? You keep saying that.
I felt like this scene was entirely too long.
Well, this is what Cassavetes. Well, if we ever review a movie called Husbands that he made, there was a scene where they are sitting around the table, these three guys, in a bar, and the scene is 41 minutes long. It is incredible. Just not stopping. And they're all drunk. I don't know. This is big in Cassavetes' work. Long scene around the table, people bonding, and then tragic timing of language. And, they are a close group. Him and his workers, they're close. You can tell that they like each other. And okay, I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to allude to. But the black guy, he's a famous California tenor, and I couldn't find his name. Were you able to find his name?
No.
He was very good.
Did they credit him in this film at all?
I
think he should have been. He's fucking sang.
Yeah, but under his character's name, which they never say. I couldn't. And if I was clicking on everybody and I couldn't find anything. Everyone knows what's about to happen with Mabel, and they can see it coming. And then when he says, "That's enough, get your ass down."
Yeah, and that's when I typed in my notes. Oh, so they're both crazy.
Yeah,
got
it. This is the moment. But also, is his. So I don't want to gaslight anybody or whatever the fuck you said. Is his craziness due to the stress of dealing with her for this many years? Because it'll come out later on that she was pregnant and they don't know. She doesn't know if he loves her. which I don't know if he does either.
He
I
never
don't.
says that. She
Yeah,
asks him at the end of the film,
yeah.
and he just ignores the
I don't
question.
think there's love here. I think there's um
Gender
comfortability.
roles, no, there's just comfortability, sure, but there's gender roles, and there's
Children.
children, and there's what's supposed to happen. So you know what I'm saying? Like even, well, you're gonna keep going, but
Yeah,
even when he has to take over the duties of being the head of the
he
household,
can't.
he immediately loses his shit. You know what
Well,
I'm saying? He immediately fails at that.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this the dinner or the lunch or whatever shortly, you know, closes because of everybody is uncomfortable now. He gets interrupted by a phone call from his mother.
And the phone call, Peter Falk letting that phone ring like 5 times.
Yeah, yeah.
Mwah! Real genius. Making that tension grow and grow
Mm-hmm.
and grow. I'm sure that was a note from Cassavetes. Hey, let that
Yeah.
motherfucker ring.
Yeah.
Waiting to answer the phone, great. And then his lines when he's on the phone with his mother, in your abdomen. What does that mean? It's my mother. She's got a pain in her abdomen. It's so great. And that's the first time we see one of those.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an iconic moment in American film there. And then all the boys just leave. And he says, I love those guys. I love them. And then he says the thing that you want to say. Go say it.
So in one of the scenes, what made, cause I don't know if you said it or you skimmed over it, but you said that when he told her to just sit down already, is because she was like caressing one of the guy's faces and stuff, saying he's so handsome, yada
I've
yada.
never seen a face like this.
I never seen a face like this. It's one of those
It's
things
awkward,
where
weird.
it was awkward, weird. She doesn't understand boundaries. It appears, personal space. She does awkward, large
Movements.
acts of affection
Mhm.
to try to make other people comfortable because she's obviously, crawling in her own skin at
Yeah.
all times, it seems.
Yeah.
So she was crossing lines and making the guy uncomfortable, and that's when Nick lost his
But
temper.
let me ask you a question. Was
Yeah.
he uncomfortable because Nick was uncomfortable, or would he have been uncomfortable anyway, you think?
He would have been uncomfortable anyway, probably.
Okay.
But also, there, like, it's such a strange. This is why I'm saying, like, I don't know much of Cassavetes' work, right? But this woman is trampled on throughout this entire film.
Mm-hmm.
Even one of his coworkers slaps her on the ass in the kitchen when everybody else is at the dinner table,
Yeah.
at the dinner table,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there's people that are crossing the line with her and making her physically uncomfortable.
But does that come from her crossing a line with them?
I don't know.
Because you don't see it. Because you don't see
Don't
it.
know because you don't see it.
Right.
And at the end of the day, if this lady is supposed to be an unstable person,
Why are you doing this to her?
why are you doing that? You know what I'm saying? And if everybody has common knowledge that she's an unstable person, then no, you wouldn't do that to that type of person.
Right.
You wouldn't do that to any woman that's not your wife. First of all, slapping your boss's wife's ass is fucking nuts. You
Probably
know?
wouldn't do that. Yeah. Probably
No.
wouldn't.
So do you think there would be just because it was this guy or not? I think that it had to be because he's a black guy, and the only reason I could say that is because the next line after he leaves is he goes, he called that guy a monkey.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "Oh, why would you do that? This to that monkey or whatever."
Okay, I'm gonna say the line because I have it here.
Yeah, say the line.
That monkey doesn't know what you're doing.
Right. Yeah, that monkey doesn't know what you're doing. So, meaning that he could take it the wrong way and think that he has some sort of past to, do something with his wife.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a you made that monkey uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's he doesn't know what you mean with your affection. So there was a sexual threat there for Nick. It had nothing to do with you made the guy uncomfortable.
Well, you know what's so funny, and I find this with most relationships of people who you find out cheat later on or whatever. It's always the person that is the cheater that gets more uncomfortable
Yeah,
when, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Um,
I mean, there's nothing to infer that he cheats or anything like that.
yes, there is.
Um,
Yes, there
with
is.
him,
Yeah, because there's a line not too far after this where he says, I know I've made mistakes. I know I've done bad things. I know what you think of me as a man.
I thought that was just about the abuse.
No. Well, because she says you never hit me before.
That doesn't mean that it wasn't abuse.
You
It
mean
just means that you've reached a
emotional?
new plateau. Yeah, it just means that you've reached a new plateau of abuse.
I think the inference is that they cheat on each other.
Perhaps,
I really do.
perhaps, yeah,
It
that's
felt that
possible.
way to me because I was watching with Linda and she was like, "Yeah, they cheat on each other." I go, "Okay."
Hmm.
Um, and then she says, "I can be that. I can be anything you want." You know, which is sort of like a subservient thing, but also it's also like her disorder, whatever her disorder is, trying to make him comfortable. You
Hmm.
know, Mabel and Nick presumably make love, and now they're back. Um, kids are back. I wrote one of the great robes in film history. Her blue and gold robe. I love that robe. Nick is also kind of an asshole. Everyone whistling. Everybody in bed. He screams. And then why does he put his mother-in-law in bed?
It's
The mother-in-law knows too that Nick is fucking crazy.
yeah, and she's walking on eggshells around him also. You
Yeah,
understand what I'm saying? So like
because he's gonna blow up.
this is what I'm saying. Like I don't know how much of this is a mental disorder
Or the
thing
reaction.
or it's a reaction to an abusive relationship
Well,
and a
maybe
toxic relationship because if they're both cheating on each other
right.
then it's a toxic relationship. But you know this house is rampant with abuse and fear as far as
And
I'm concerned.
maybe the title doesn't come from a woman under the influence of, you know, mental illness, but a woman under the influence of her own life and the
Yeah,
life that has um eaten her away.
I've seen firsthand uh you know what abuse looks like and what it could do to somebody's mentality, their personality, and their character.
Mm-hmm.
um and a lot of what I saw in this was not that far removed. The extremes of the behavior, perhaps no, but the constantly trying to accommodate people that are either the abuser or are in close proximity to the abuser. You know,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
abuser's friends, the abuser's children, the
yeah,
abuser's co-workers, neighbors. You know, to give this false sense of everything's all right in this household. You know what I'm saying? Everything is normal. Everybody be cool. Because the tension is all in her head constantly, even if there is no tension in the scene. So that whole dinner table thing, you know, there's no she, as it is portrayed in this film, has some sort of mental illness,
yeah,
right?
yes.
But what I'm saying is I don't know how much we could infer that the root of it is
Is
chemical or through experiences.
yeah, and we'll get more as the movie goes on, and we meet her father, Mabel's father,
Right.
who really loves his daughter. You
Sure.
can see that he really, and I don't think he believes that anything's wrong with his daughter. You know?
I mean, I think he thinks she's obviously in crisis.
Yeah, but it's not
You
due
know,
to her own thing.
no.
Um, okay, when you get home from school, we're gonna have a party, and we're gonna talk about some terrific things, and we're gonna do some very interesting things. Great, it's a great set of vague lines. Mabel's mother a little scared of Nick, and then he's Mabel says, "Why do you keep asking me that? You think I'm wacko or something?" But that keeps coming up to make you believe that she's wacko.
Hmm.
You know, the famous scene of this film is when she's on the street and she wants to get the time from those two
Yeah.
women. And this is one of the most famous scenes in American film. And these two women, I read trivia, they were Jenna Rollins' high school classmates. And she says, the classes meet. The idea of the classes meeting here. You mind giving me the time? Now that's the lower class talking to the upper class. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
not only a line; it's a cry for help too from Mabel. You know,
Yeah.
the beauty of the handheld shots of Cassavetes here really gets her manic behavior down. Just it's almost like a ballet of mania. The way he uses that camera for something as simple as the kids are just getting off a bus.
Yeah.
You know, um, and she says, "I hope you kids never grow up." And then a lot of lines here. Why do hands feel so good? Do you ever think of me as dopey or mean? And then Nick, the son, Cassavetes, he says, "No, you are smart and funny and a little nervous." So I think they know that something's a little up with their mother too.
Well, they seen the abuse. It's happening in front of their face constantly.
Yeah, yeah,
They seen her manic crisis. They seen her. If you want to roll with the, bipolar, manic depressive, we could do that, right? Because both things could be true at the same time. She could have these chemical imbalances and be in an abusive relationship with a
yeah.
also mentally unstable husband,
Well, we
right?
know. Yeah,
All those things could be true.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, the kids see it. It's not nothing that they can't perceive. It's not even trying to be hidden. This is a very chaotic household
yeah.
at all times.
And then she's also inviting people over. So maybe I don't know if it's the reverse where she also thinks inviting people over is a good idea, or she gets it from Nick that inviting people
Mhm.
over is a good idea. But they both want to be social, but they can't get out of their own way in being social because they're fuck ups and they're Mabel's mentally ill, Nick's mentally ill, Nick's a drunk, Mabel's a drunk. There's a lot of that going on too.
I mean, yeah, I guess he is a drunk. Drinks. I mean,
She drinks a lot.
I don't know. It's the '70s. That was such a passe thing. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
it's hard to. I mean, technically, yes, you would qualify that as a drunk. You drink beer at all times of the day and night, but that was
8:30 in the
really
morning.
well. 8:30 in the morning for us. He's an overnight worker. That's fucking 2 o'clock in the afternoon for him. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Um, and then she says to Mr. Jensen, the father. By the way, you've seen Raging Bull, right?
No,
Um,
I have seen Great White Hope.
I've seen Play It to the Bone with Antonio Banderas and Woody Harrelson. Let's think of more bad boxing movies.
I've seen more bad boxing movies. Fuck. No, I'm done. I've seen
Please say Kangaroo Jack.
Kung Pao.
That's just because you order that every other night.
What was the name of that movie where it was a spoof
Enter the
on Kung
Fist.
Fu?
Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
Yeah. That was terrible.
Yeah. Now I lost where I was. Everything went away. And she says, "Don't just stand there on the outside. This is a house where people come in." What a fucking great set of lines that is. And Jensen immediately knows she's crazy.
He's like, he said, "Well, I fucked up
Yeah.
today."
And then they're doing Swan Lake in the backyard, and she says, "Come and die for me, Jensen.
No. She tells the kids, die for Mr.
Die
Jensen.
for Mr." And then she says, "Come and die for me, Mr.
Yeah.
Jensen."
I wrote that down.
And I
That was
wrote,
funny.
"This is biblical," and also a little bit of the Seventh Seal movie right behind me. Now they're making costumes, and now Mabel's dancing and insulting Harold about his name.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah.
Jeez, how do you get born with a name like Harold? And then he says, "I'm worried about the kids and leaving them here with you. You've been acting a little strange. I wonder if you've been aware of that or not."
You know what I found about every tertiary character in this film?
They're also shitting on her?
Well, but they're all phenomenal. Everybody is so super grounded.
Yeah.
Like the looks
Totally
of concern seem
opposite.
genuine.
Well,
You know
totally
what I'm saying?
opposite of her and Nick.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
But like, I don't know, not grounded meaning like they, as if they're
Normal.
I don't even know if necessarily that. I'm just meaning like they seem like real. It feels like you're watching a doc more, like
Yeah,
more than a fucking movie
they
at some point.
live.
Like the way they're talking seems very natural.
They
Very good
live.
acting and writing.
They live in a different world than Nick and Mabel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know. Um, and then he says, "What the hell is going on here?" And then he just hauls. Nick comes home, says, "What the hell is going on here?" Just slaps Mabel right in the face.
Right.
Just boom. Still shocking. Every time I see it, it's just so shocking. Now Nick and Harold fighting, and then he says, "Get out of here and stay on your side."
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
His neighbors. They're on your side of the
No,
fence.
no. They're not neighbors. They're not neighbors. He's friends with the kids from school. They're not neighbors. Staying
I
on your
don't know if I believe
side.
that.
Such a weird improvisation. And then he says, "Nobody's sick. Mabel's crazy." Telling someone they're going to be committed to their face is fucking wild. That is fucking wild. He says, "I'm not sorry." She says, "I'm not sorry you hit me. You never did that before." And then he says, "I don't know who you are."
But when he slapped her,
Yeah.
what was wild is that he tells Jensen, "Look what you made me do."
Look what you made me do. Yeah, I didn't write that down. Look what you made me do.
Yeah. I was like, whoa, that's fucking wild.
Yeah. And then Mabel knows that the knock on the door is the end. That's Dr. Zepp. And her face just totally changes. Totally changes. And she says, "He's got something in that bag. He's going to try to imprison me with something in that bag." Great.
So does this mean that this is not the first time she's been committed?
I would think so. Or at the very least, it's not the first time she's been sedated by Zepp. And then he says, "You make the drink, Zepp." She says, "No, you make the drink, Zepp, and I'll watch them." Like talking about the family, and I'll watch them. You know, Cassavetes' mother so fucking good as Nick's mother. Nick holding Mabel, and Zepp tries to give her a shot, and she says, "I'm calm, you're sick." And Nick, "I need your help now." When she runs away, and then the walk Nick takes, the kids holding on to their mother, and then Mabel, look at me. I have a piece of paper that says next act. Beautiful way to end that act. And then Nick's back at work. "I don't want anybody discussing my affairs."
Yeah.
"She's got a screw loose and she needs some time. Is that what you want to hear, you asshole?" Back on the job, and this is like the
Oh, sorry to backtrack.
Go
I wrote this
ahead.
down. I forgot to say it. The scene with Columbo's mom. Did you hear him laugh at her when she was acting?
Yes.
When she was, and he laughed a little bit in the background. He was like, "Man, you gotta
Yeah,
relax."
she said something right off the cuff.
Yeah.
And he couldn't keep it.
Yeah, he cracked up.
And it's natural that Cassavetes decided to keep that in.
Yeah.
It just works so well. Because there's got to be a moment of brevity, but it's not brevity. It's fucked up. And then they're doing that walk on the cliff there, and it's exactly. Have you seen The Seventh Seal?
No.
And it's exactly like the ending of The Seventh Seal.
He called him a goddamn Mexican Indian.
He does. He does.
This guy is racist.
Probably. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. And he says, "You're a silent."
And I said, "Whoa, did he kill that guy?" Holy shit.
"You're a silent son of a bitch. Don't you walk away from me." And then he falls off the edge. But he's fine, like 6 shots later.
That is an angry small man.
He was very angry. And then he says, "I want to stop off at my kids' school and pick up my kids. Comes to mind that I don't know my kids. I never spend any time with them." Great realization moment there. Nobody gets pneumonia when I'm the father. They're on the beach. And, the whole film is manic. The whole film is teetering on the edge, and it's beautiful. And then this guy says, to see a guy like Eddie fall and break all his bones, Jesus Christ. But he didn't break all his bones.
I mean,
did he? I thought he was dead. The first time I ever saw this film, I was like, wow, he's dead. There's no way you're going to come back from that. You're also like 70.
Took a tumble.
Tumble. It's like 100 feet. The beach stuff is so great because they just keep walking back and forth to find nothing.
It's again manic, him having a manic episode.
Yeah.
Like I was alluding to earlier, that he, as he just said, doesn't raise his kids. He's not around. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what they're into.
No.
So again, this abusive father, even though he's thinking he's trying to do the right thing or whatever, he's trying to portray that he knows what he's doing as a father, and he's forcing joy upon these kids. It's like, you go do this and you're going to go do this, and this is how you're going to be happy, and this is how you're going to have a good time, and this is how you're going to play. It was just aggressive. First of all, everybody's wearing jackets and they go to the beach.
And shorts.
Is it jacket weather or is it fucking beach weather? And why are we here?
I don't think it's beach weather.
It can't fucking be. Everybody looks like they're bundled up. Every scene, somebody's wearing a fucking a fall jacket.
But isn't that the manicness of it too? Because in the scenes prior, when Mabel's waiting for the kids, it's summer.
Yeah.
So like it also confuses you where you are, which I think is a really good little device.
We never really get any scenery of the city.
No.
From what I understand,
you're in this house.
Takes place in L.A.
Yeah,
from what I understand.
Yeah,
but I never knew, because this could have took place anywhere.
You're just in this house.
Yeah.
Nick's sitting on the back of the truck having beers. The kids want beer. Nick obliges.
He got the kids drunk.
Yeah, all the kids plowing beers, and he says, "I'm sorry I had to send your mother away. I'm sorry for everything." And then you got some drunk kids now. And then he puts them to bed, and he asked all of them if they want to hang out with him. And they're like, nope, get the fuck. I want to go to sleep. I don't want to eat with you. And then they sent Mabel away for 6 months. That is fucking nuts. That's nuts.
It's nuts, but it's something that was quite commonplace back then. If it was a wife that didn't want to, do her duties or started, especially, it's like an old trope, really, because you saw that in a lot of films from like the 40s and 50s, where the wives would get sent away by the evil husband and stuff.
But it would always be like it wouldn't be like this. You would always hear like, oh, I went to a sanitarium to work on myself or whatever. It was never like this visceral, because he made sure to make you let you know that 6 months later, he let you know that, damn, that's half a year you sent this woman away for.
Well, he didn't. He got her committed. He doesn't control how long she gets stayed away for.
It was probably there are commitment months. I think you have to do it's 3, 6, or 12. I would assume. I mean, I do know. I do know. I just don't want to bring up the person who I know.
Yeah.
And then he wants to have a party. Wants to have another party. And everyone is really excited to see Mabel. And letting people bump into the camera is so fucking wild. I think it's so cool. It's just such a cool way. And then, like, because he's holding the camera, right? It's not stationary. He's holding the camera. He's letting people bump into it. And then he stands up with the camera and starts moving through the crowd of people. So good. They're ingenious. Nick's mother is right, though. You do too much. You do too much. And then the woman this is why I think he fucked this woman. You're a shit. You sent her away and you could have picked her up. Your mother's right. It is too much. I think he fucked that woman. They're in his buddy's wife. I think she was Native American Asian.
Okay.
I really picked up on a vibe there. I thought. And then he says, I know it's wrong. You tell him to go. Mama kicks everyone out. And I would be pissed off. I'm in a suit. At least
Wait,
give
wait,
me.
wait, wait, wait.
At least give me a.
Where's my to-go plate then, if that's the
Yeah, you
case?
gotta give me a piece of cheese or something. Come on, I drove here from San Fernando Valley. Give me a fucking crudité. Um, as they are leaving, they see Mabel, and Mabel returns, and she's just not the same at the very beginning. Right? It's like the light left her eyes. You know.
Yep.
And when she says to her kids or Angelo, "Hello, banana," every time I hear that, I lose. Whoop. I love that is one of the great lines. Hello, banana. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry now. And then I'm not a spaghetti man.
I wrote that down
Great
too.
line.
He was
And
like,
that's a
look,
big
it's
fuck you to
better not
Nick.
be fucking
That's a
spaghetti again.
big fuck you to Nick.
That was Babel's
Mabel's
father.
father.
Yeah.
Big fuck you to Nick. I'm not a spaghetti man. Great line. So good.
Is that inferring that she's not Italian?
No, she's not. Mabel. Oh fuck, I forget what her last name was. Morgenstein,
Something like that. Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
It was like one of those ice cream last names. You know, the Morgenstern's. There's an ice cream brand. It's in the city. It's really good.
I am on the carnivore diet, but I do know
Put
it.
bacon on it. I don't know.
I do know it. I do.
Okay.
It's like $18 a scoop though.
Yeah.
I'm okay with all that.
They had charcoal ice cream one time. That was pretty good.
Oh, cool. Let me just fucking eat a wall. Put a wall on my ice cream. You got wood? You got wood ice cream in there?
Wood chip, please.
I've been really looking for foot flavored ice cream, you know.
Delish.
Hello, banana. Yeah, I'm not a spaghetti man. Just be yourself. Just be yourself. This is your house. To hell with them. Give me a bop bop. Great. And then they ask us, so what was it like up there? You stupid.
Once again, gaslighting, because he's making it seem as though everybody else is treating her like she's crazy and there's nothing wrong with her. But meanwhile, you had her committed.
Right.
So it's just, constant gaslighting. He's telling her, he's constantly gaslighting everybody and probably trying to convince himself also at the same time that he's had some sort of normalcy.
I don't think he knows how to deal with this. He wants that old Mabel, but he doesn't want that old Mabel, but
because he has the control. It's not about old Mabel or new Mabel. It's just about the control. To me, that's how I read it. It's it's just about the control. And like I said, he's not fucking wrapped tight of damn self. So who the fuck knows what type of reality he's living in?
And then after the what was it like up there, she says, we had therapy and they shocked my brain.
She had electroshock therapy.
Yeah. And then she
said shock treatment, but be yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah. And then she tries to be positive about everything. And he's like, Zepp, we're gonna have a good time, nothing but good time. I see your cock.
Sorry, I haven't shaved. French cock. That's terrible. Gross.
Yeah.
Nicky is mortified. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, what are you gonna do? We're just two psychopaths. And he says she starts talking about how we're gonna have a great time, and Zepp's like, right on, but I committed you, Like it's just like, why are you saying right on? And then she says things will get better and better and better after that. And then Nick goes, why don't you go help Tina just to get her out of there? Because you're right here. The control. He doesn't want her feeling better. He doesn't want this Mabel or whatever this iteration of Mabel is.
Well, right, because at least there was some sort of joy in her insanity before.
Yeah.
You know? Now everybody's seeing what he did to her and it's on Front Street.
Yeah.
Because before he could blame her chaos on her own mental illness.
But
now what we're seeing is a result of your actions.
And she looks like she's healthier and feeling better. And it's just like, you're just get in the kitchen.
But the thing is, she probably was, but obviously she didn't even get out the fucking car when the full blown party was going on before they kicked everybody out. She didn't even get out the car yet before everybody was confronting her and telling her their well wishes and good to see you. It was even a woman that was a perfect fucking literally said, "You don't know me, but I'm such and such.
I'm Al's wife."
Yeah, and I'm happy to see you. And I'm in your face for no fucking reason. It was she was attacked from the fucking curb.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Then she's in the kitchen and she says, "Did you see Tina's ass?"
Yeah, I wrote that.
And then his mother goes, "You can hurt Tina's feelings talking about her ass." And then she goes, "No, it's all right. I do have a big ass."
This is
that's Cassavetes'
1974. This is not when asses were all the rage as in now.
No.
Now that's a compliment.
Yeah. And I didn't even see that big of an ass.
Just wide.
It's just wide?
I guess. I don't know.
And then she does the "you must pay the rent" thing, which I think is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So good. Explaining the hospital, particularly painful to listen to. And then this moment is the moment where everybody's on her again. And she says, "Dad, will you stand up for me? Will you please stand up for me?" And boy, I'm going to go again. Boy, really powerful stuff. And he acts like he doesn't understand, but he understands. And the mother says, "Don't you understand what she's saying to you? Don't you hear it?" And don't you understand what she's trying to tell us? And then the father's look. This guy's a great actor. He's been in a lot of shit. Television. Her father knows he fucked up. And then he says, "Leave my daughter alone, you." Great. Nick kicks everyone out. Thinks everybody should go. Which, that's to control her again, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
And then Mabel did she try to kill herself or just cut her hand?
I couldn't figure
that part out.
What was going on, because you never even see what the item was.
It's a razor blade.
After it was, I assume, because she got cut.
Yeah.
But you never actually see what it was, and then he threw it inside of one of those cups that you
unsanitary.
Keep by the sink. Gross. Gross household. And I think it's inferred that she was trying to kill herself.
But she cut her hand, not her wrist.
She's manic. I don't know. Maybe she cut her hand just grabbing it so aggressively, so she didn't even get to.
Maybe. I just think
it happened very quickly. It's not like she was in there for a long time. He chased her to the bathroom.
I just know that when people are in a manic state, they try to cut themselves to feel something. So maybe it was that.
Perhaps.
Nick takes the kids to bed, and they run back and forth now, up and down the stairs.
Yeah.
And Nick
trying to protect their mother.
And Nick hits her again when she's doing her dance.
Mm-hmm.
And they go upstairs.
Because now he's opened Pandora's box, and now that's an instinct rather than an anomaly that it was supposedly, before, where she said, "You never did this before." Now it's an instinct.
Now it's going to be the thing.
Yeah. Probably. Now it's going to be the norm.
Yeah. And then they go upstairs to tuck the kids into bed. She says, "I'm so proud of you. I love you." And then "Hi, Banana" again. That's the worst "Hi, Banana." Oh, my God. "I love you, Banana." Just good, hard lines. Tomorrow's going to be better. And the kid gives Nick the fist. I love that moment. And Nick nods like, "Yeah, I'm a fuck up. I'm a real piece of shit." And then she says tomorrow's going to be better. And then he says, "I'm really nuts." She says, "I'm really nuts." And they talk about the pregnancy and how they became together. And she says, "I love you. Don't you love me, Nick? Don't you love me?" And all he could say is, "Now let's go clean up that crap."
Yeah.
And they clean up the house over, I don't know what song that is, but I'm putting that on the iTunes. I don't know what song that is. I love it. And the credits roll as they clean up the house. And I wrote, this is a film I can watch over and over again. find something new, singular and important. Jenna Rollins, a master. Peter Falk, a master. John Cassavetes, a master. One of my favorite American films ever made. A diamond, 5 out of 5.
um, I thought it was a really good film. The only
The length. No?
not so
Oh,
much.
I thought you were
No,
going to say the length.
it kind of went by. The only scene that I thought dragged on was that first initial
Table lunch.
table scene, but I understand that that was the device
Mm-hmm.
that was supposed to have been used. But I have no issue with the film. I could probably give it like a 4.5, 4.6. I thought it was really well acted by anybody that was on
Yeah.
camera and had a voice.
Yeah.
Like I said, even the tertiary characters were fucking like, even the construction worker characters at the table, their pauses,
Yeah.
you know, were incredible. Their glances and the shame they would have, expressions of shame they would have at the table, trying not to make eye contact with the wife or trying not to
Be disrespectful.
be disrespectful to Nick, because there was a fear of Nick. Obviously, I think everybody's scared of death of
Yeah.
Nick. Also,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? As small as he is, they do not want to cross
Well,
that little dude.
wait a minute. You just maybe hit something.
Hmm.
Napoleon complex?
Maybe, obviously, yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't think about
Everybody
that.
is scared to death of this guy. He has an extreme Napoleon complex. Um, Being a narcissist doesn't mean that you have to be good at it, you know. Like, you could be a narcissist, meaning that you're portraying this, you're making everything about you. You're portraying this false,
Narrative.
picture of a narrative of everything going the way it's supposed to go. But that doesn't mean that you're good at it. You know what I'm saying? So everybody knows you're a fuck up. Everybody knows that your life is fucked up and you're a fucked up individual. But circumstances, um, they work for him. They're employed by him. There's only so much they're gonna do. Everybody else, like I said, I'd had no issue with this film. The only thing that, and I get why you love this film, I'm still curious as to why this is an important film, you think, for Women's History Month, in your opinion.
I think
I think the woman, what's the actress name?
Jenna Rollins.
I think her acting was really good. You know what I'm saying? And if what you're telling me is correct, where this is like the first time this type of narrative and portrayal of mental illness has ever been on film, I think what took me off guard was this was not a film about mental illness solely.
No.
I don't think that was the root of it. Abuse was the root of this film.
Sure.
And I feel like, I didn't think you were trying to convince me otherwise,
No.
or, trick me, nothing like that. That's just, but like every review that I've read about this, it is very glazed over the abuse part of the film.
Mm-hmm.
Some people a little bit more on the nose with it, like, yeah, this is, also an abusive husband, yada yada. But some is just, it's like and then this guy is trying to deal with it and he's reaching his breaking point too. There's like a weird sympathy for the Nick character that I think is hard for me, So like, again, just to circle back, it went to a different place, but yeah, why did you think this would be a good film for Women's History Month exactly?
I think the performance, the subject matter, the idea that a woman, like we said, in the 40s and 50s, it would have been glanced over. It would have been just, oh, she's crazy, don't mind her, and then the movie keeps going. This is a full-fledged look into mania, into depression, into disorder, and also the constraints of man. Like the doctor's a man, not a woman. And that's a problem because no one's listening to this woman. And at the end, the only person who is listening to this woman is another woman, and that's Nick's mother.
Yeah.
And even she,
And that's after the fact,
that's
where
after
she
the
was like,
fact.
she's
It's
crazy.
crazy, doctor.
Yeah.
Everyone in this film is connected because they're friends, and that also doesn't help her, right? It doesn't help that the doctor's a family friend. It doesn't help that Nick's mother's against her. So I think it's a woman under the influence of nothing she's in control of. And I never saw that on film before this. I never, and such a raw, visceral approach to it. I never, and the first time I saw this film, I said, this is just a landmark film in listening to women. Listen to women, because she's a victim. She's a victim. And this is a landmark film in that. I never saw anything like this before. The closest thing I could think of is whatever happened to Baby Jane with Betty Davis and Joan Crawford. But that's more sibling bipolar disorder, a crippled sister, which is a great movie. But I think that's more sibling stuff. I don't think that's this. Like, I just think it's an important American dichotomy on what we used to do to women. Because I'll talk about my grandmother. This is what my grandfather did to my grandmother. On both sides.
Yeah.
The abuse that my grandmother on my mother's side, her mother, suffered at the hands of a overbearing Italian drunk, and the abuse that my grandmother on my dad's side suffered because they sent her away to a mental institution because they didn't know how to deal with her. So she got shock therapy too.
Yeah.
And I think it just hits me in a very deep personal way where I think it's a story that needs to be told and seen. It's a film that needs to be seen. There's nothing, even now, they just sort of cookie cutter all over it. You know, they don't really get into the meat and potatoes of it. What's the last modern film you saw? I'm talking about like last 20 years that really got into the meat and potatoes of mental illness, family woes in a dark and raw way.
Are you talking about based on gender or just in
Yeah,
general?
I'd say gender.
Specifically when it comes to women. I'd be hard pressed to think of one right now on the forefront. Yeah.
There's nothing like this film. There still isn't.
But like I said, that's why I asked if you're talking about gender, because I was going to bring up a film that you hated, but The Whale. I think that's definitely a portrayal of mental illness and everybody kind of being either an enabler or the daughter being somebody who had a huge gripe with the father in The Whale.
Yeah.
And kind of just was like on some fuck you shit and did a lot of low blows.
Yeah.
You didn't like The Whale.
I did not like The Whale. I did not. I did not.
That's documented on your stuff there, your reviews.
Yeah, I did not like The Whale.
Yeah.
Now I'm remembering watching The Whale. Don't do that to me. It's just.
But yeah, this film gave me a lot of, especially with the parts with the kids. It was a lot of chills just because of a lot of similarities to my upbringing, stuff that I've seen also. Yeah. So, I don't disagree with your opinion where this portrayal of a woman's struggle, is not something that is often heard or
Unheard.
It's so I get your point of view as to why you picked this film. I do. Yeah. I think it just hit me so viscerally.
Yeah.
That
you called me.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck were you thinking?
No, but I mean, once you get through it, and once you see that it's a vicious cycle, and the idea that, sadly for Mabel and Nick, and more so for Mabel, this gaslighting, this uneasiness, this abuse, physical. Now you said it's going to be the norm, probably.
Mhm.
It's hard to see where she ends up. You don't know, because
I
I would
think
have loved, and I hate sequels. Hate them. I find them irritating and weird.
a
Except,
sequel to this? Oh God, no.
I know. But I would like to see where Mabel ends up. You don't have to make it a short film. I don't care.
Back and forth out the movie bin, fam.
Yeah.
You know. Um. Yeah, I think my visceral reaction was. I think I could say that hearing your thought out opinion of the film and just talking it through, walking it through
Yeah.
like we just did for the past hour and 30 minutes, I get your perspective. There is, I think, a lot of tragedy in women's history. Everything is not,
Mostly tragedy.
yeah, everything is not like great triumphs, and that has to be a part of the spectrum that
Has
needs to be
talked about.
spoken
Yeah.
about. Also, I think, yeah,
I always believe that losses are very important. They're almost as important as wins. And we
yeah.
don't talk like especially in the 70s. The only thing I can even relate it to culturally that was exploring women's rights, exploring mental illness, exploring gaslighting of women was all in the family.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what else were you watching that did this, that really gave a woman a voice to say, I'm sick and I need help?
Um. Yeah, I'm not recasting this.
I have one, but I won't recast it.
Go ahead.
I'm only going to do Mabel, Nick, and the director.
Sure.
Nick, I'm going to make Sam Rockwell.
All right. I think I could recast it too. Then. So go ahead. I like Sam Rockwell. That wasn't a dig
No,
at
I
him. I
know,
love
I
Sam
know, I
Rockwell.
know, I
Yeah.
know. Mabel, okay. Mabel's a little tougher because you need somebody that's really going to go, that's really going to give you everything. And I think the only answer for me is Kate Blanchett.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to see the Safdie brothers direct this.
Hmm.
So that's what I'll do.
Okay. So the director for me, and once again, I don't know. I find you didn't like the movie The Well. Did you like the way it was directed?
I don't like Darren Aronofsky.
Really?
No.
Well, I would choose Darren Aronofsky for this because it harkened back to that for me, where it was just a solitary scene, location for most of the movie, almost the entirety of the movie, actually, aside from the beach, the construction site, and the school.
I think the
And the street.
only Darren Aronofsky I could even sit through is Requiem for a Dream, and I have a problem with that sometimes.
I would do.
I'm gonna be annoyed, huh?
For Columbo.
No.
John Berthal.
Come on, bro.
John Berthal all day, every day. No, I would probably do Mark Ruffalo. I can see him doing that.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo could do this.
And I think he is due for a role that is a little bit more rougher around the edges.
Well, you say that on H.
Like the one important things was a little bit rougher around the edges than what I've
It was
normally
very.
seen. Man. I mean, he was flamboyant, but it was
so
like he was a
good.
bad guy. You know what I'm saying?
So
He was a bad
good.
guy though. Yeah.
Like the way he would turn, I was so impressed with Mark Ruffalo in that film. Watch an HBO miniseries that he did where he's playing both characters, brothers. One's a
I know what you're
schizophrenic.
talking about. I haven't seen it yet.
This
though,
Much
but
I Know Is True, I think it's called.
Yeah, This Much I Know Is True.
Bro.
Yeah. I heard it was really good.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. And for Mabel,
John Bernthal.
John Berthal. Shit. Who would be good for Mabel? Mark Ruffalo was like 50 something.
I mean, so was Sam Rockwell. I mean,
Yeah, but your people are closer in age, right?
yeah,
No, Kate Blanchett. How old is Kate Blanchett?
46.
46. I don't want to say Kerry Washington. I feel like she's
Well, you heard me say
a
that
bit much
before.
for me. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All right, I take back my Mark Ruffalo just because I can't find in my head right now a good opposite for him.
Yeah, because you also don't want to make this.
Struggle with it.
You don't want to make this too hammy either.
It can't be hammy.
Yeah,
No, it has
yeah,
to be
yeah. It's
somebody
got to be
that's actually
straight on.
capable. You know what? This movie also reminded me of, though there wasn't any physical abuse in it, but just the back and forth dynamic. That film that Zendaya did with John David Washington, and that was all a one-shot deal. It was all. I mean, that's the way it was portrayed. It was,
The two lovers.
yeah, they just came from an award show and shit like that.
Yeah.
It was on HBO or Netflix. One of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Zendaya is fucking phenomenal, I think.
Did you see Dune 2?
I haven't yet. We're going to this week.
I didn't understand Dune 1.
Did you ever see the original?
Yeah.
It's a slow movie.
I don't give a fuck.
You don't like sci-fi.
Not at all.
It was the precursor to Star Wars and shit like that. You know?
No, it wasn't. Star Wars came out before Dune. Dune was
the book.
I don't care about that. I read actual books, not fucking worm stupid shit. I'm a pretentious fuckbag. I told you. You don't gotta.
No.
Sci-fi. Look at my jacket.
You don't say.
Okay.
Yeah, Zendaya, John David Washington.
Okay. Well,
we
we did it. Much less funny than last week.
Fucking pendulum swing, to say the least.
Yeah, but I mean, just us.
Not a lot of ha-has in this film, Joe.
No, you couldn't. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there were any other films we reviewed that just didn't have. I mean, there were like small moments, but it wasn't. You couldn't laugh out loud. It's more like a tee-hee. Was there any other film? Nosferatu really didn't have that many laughs. All right, Don. Don't disparage silent films because you have the mental capacity of a little rat.
Big rat. I'm a big.
You are rat. A giant fat rat. Can't get through a hole.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. That probably would be the
comparison, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
anywho.
We did it. We did it. We're not sure about next week.
We're on the fence about next week. I want to say we want to do something a little bit more levity.
Showgirls it is.
Can you imagine?
What are you saying? What are you saying? Strippers aren't part of National Women's Month? Is that what you're saying?
Nope. I think next week that I said that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying no.
I know.
Just
claro.
Yeah. Be clear.
He has to clarify.
We're gonna be doing next week 1966 Ousmane Sebene's Black Girl. That's what we're gonna be doing next week.
Very exciting. I've never seen that. I've always wanted to.
Yeah, it's something I've seen a couple times.
I believe that's on HBO Max. We don't have to pay for this one.
Right. Yeah, this is a big deal movie. This is groundbreaking
Don't
film.
say anything about it. I like to go in fresh, like Jerry Stiller.
Well, you do know this is going to be about a black girl, right?
I'm off the show.
Alert.
I'm off the show.
Spoiler alert.
I'm sick of your commie pinko politics.
All right, so that's the deal. That's what we're doing. This has been another episode of We'll Fix It in Post Old Ass Movie Reviews. Don Vega.
Joe Sonnenblick.
We'll see you when we see you.
Next week.
Maybe.
It'll be next week.
Possibly.
See you next week.